Good grand day, gems and jewels. How are you guys doing on this Halloween, this Day of the Dead day, this blue moon day? Welcome. I am your host, Corinthia Peoples, and this is Power in My Pivot. We will discuss how the extraordinary become extraordinary through the power of pivoting, turning by changing our lives, by changing our situations, by pivoting into our greatness. Today, I have a guest for you. Today, we will have an intimate interview with the highly creative Shawn Gary, who will share intimate details of her overcoming and how she recently left her six-figure job to pursue her soul's cry of becoming a full-time styling doula and creative. Stay tuned. Again, welcome to Power in My Pivot. You know, Power in My Pivot is a discussion of an unfoldment, of how along our journey that we've had to pivot, whether that's been voluntarily, circumstantially, or just by sheer survival. It's a talk of our soul's journey and our evolution. Welcome all to the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is an interparticipatory dialogue, honey. So feel free to drop comments in the chat and just join in. Kick back and relax for these few moments in time that we will share ourselves with you. And so many of you have shared yourselves with me. So I appreciate each and every one of you. So our guest, Shawn Gary, just to give you a little bit of background and dialogue about Shawn's background is in education advocacy and organizational development. Shawn is a minister of spiritual consciousness. Her passion is supporting women of all ages by adorning their bodies, mind, and spirits with beauty and self-love. Kim is currently launching her new coaching program entitled Booty Beauty, a conversation about the power of the booty. Yes, I said booty. Aren't you intrigued already? It is so intriguing. Oh my God. So I tell you what, without further ado, let's introduce our guest and my sister, Shawn Gary.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. Look at you, just fabulous, honey.
I'm dressed for the occasion.
Darling, the feathers is...
And it's Halloween.
Darling is working.
And we are about adorning our spirit. So this is who I am today.
It is working. It is working so well. I love it. I love the feathers. Honey, and the bendy. Honey, you have to give me one of them bendy so I can highlight my third eye up in there.
Third eye going.
Yes. Love it. Shawn, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate you being open and exposed.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Because I know you're going to give us parts of you that you rarely share. And we're going to just tap into it. And I just want you to know that this is a safe space. This is a safe space for us to have the conversation on the power of pivoting. Yes.
Yes. There's power in the pivot.
Honey, it's power in the turn.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you got to lean into it.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, Kim, tell us about your journey leaving corporate America. That's a big step, honey, from six figures to your
Woo!
soul just won't let you be still, huh?
Woo!
What was the straw that broke the Kim Shawn Gary's back?
Well, it was the gift of stillness that COVID brought us. And in that time of stillness, I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted. And the thing that entered my mind during my stillness was, if I was one of those people on a ventilator right now, in this moment, would I have done the work that God has called me to do?
Mm,
And the answer was no.
mm.
And it made me so sad.
Those questions are like, that's a real question. That's a real question. And either you answer from the ego or you answer from the heart chakra.
Yes.
And I think you answered from the heart chakra, darling.
Yes. I definitely answered from my heart and my spirit.
You took the plunge.
I did. It's a big plunge, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
It is worth it. Because, honey, you looking fabulous. You ready to take on the world. What?
I am intentional.
Love it.
I am intentional when I adorn myself. It's how I feel in the moment. It's my spirit talking to me and all of that.
Yes. So, is this your first time trying out your endeavor to leave corporate America and embrace the creative that you are and the spirit that's seems like it's propelling you to pivot? Is it your first time?
It is not my first time. It is my second time. It is my second time.
Mhm.
Actually, this is the 10-year anniversary of the first time I did it. And the biggest difference is when I did it the first time, I was running away from myself.
Mhm.
Even though I told myself I was running to what I wanted, which was to be around creatives and people like myself, but it was really a running away from. And this time I'm running to me.
Ooh,
I'm running. I'm embracing me, and it feels so good. Can you see it in my face?
I can. I can see you standing with your arms wide open to welcome you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. You decide to welcome yourself home.
Hmm. So how do you deal with the fear? Because that's the piece that a lot of us battle with. And just like you just did, you had to just take a breath. How do you deal with the fear of pivoting from one reality? Because that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's a reality, it's a paradigm shift that we go through in our brain. And that brings up fear, which we all know that fear is false evidence appearing real. So, how do you manage to pivot through the fear?
Lots of breath.
Lots of breathing.
Lots of breathing, and also a lot of compassion. Because here's the truth about being in America.
Mm-hmm.
Our school system, day one, teaches us what we're supposed to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's very little room to figure out who we want to be in the world once we're born into the American school system. And so it teaches us these are all the things we do. We go to school. In high school, we're supposed to figure out what we want to do for the rest of our lives. We're supposed to go to college, get married, have a house, kids, and then retire.
White picket fence.
White picket fence, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of us basically spend our time, what I believe, in a bubble, like in a trance. Is what's coming into my spirit right now, a trance.
Mm-hmm. Almost like autopilot.
Yes, autopilot. And so the way that I handle creating something new is that I have support systems. I have sisters I call.
Mm-hmm.
I have a coach. This time I got a coach when I decided to leave it, Sandra Brooks, who's joining me now, who's the CEO of the Powerhouse Academy, who has been my gift during this time, and the sisters that are a part of that program.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also so much compassion, and also allowing when the fear comes to feel it. Don't stuff it. Because that's how we get disease in the body. It's a dis-ease, And here's the other truth as a woman of color. In our DNA, we're taught to be afraid. It's in our DNA.
So generationally, it's been fear has been passed down.
Fear. That's how we got work out of us. They scared us. They scared us into working and creating capital for them. Right?
That's a whole nother topic. But I'm so glad you spoke on that because that's the truth.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a lot of breathing and And here's the truth, because I said I was going to tell the microscopic truth while I was here, is that I don't have all the answers. This is a faith walk. And when I
Yes.
do have those moments, like I was just 2 days ago, I was, I live on water. So I was at the water bawling.
Mm.
I mean, but I did it. It was maybe 10 minutes worth, right?
Yes.
And I said, okay, we're done with that. Because you
Mm.
have to release during this process.
Doing the fear.
You can't stand in that I'm a strong Black woman stuff. That's not going to serve you long term.
There
You
you
got to
go.
let that go.
Mm-hmm. And so you went to nature.
I went to nature.
Mm-hmm. So how does nature serve you? How does nature help you get through the tough moments of doubt, questioning yourself, the fear, the unknown? Because I think if we could see the ball, right? If we had a crystal ball and we could see through that crystal ball and see what's coming, it makes things easier. But we can't.
Yeah.
So how do you relate nature to moving you through the pivot points?
Well, nature is grounding, right? So,
It is.
when we trust that the sun is going to rise,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that the sun is even behind the clouds when we don't see it on a cloudy day. We know that the moon is going to be there. We know we're going to have rain. We have rivers, mountains. All of it is really a symbolism of life if you think about it. Because sometimes the sun's going to be out, you're going to be happy. Sometimes the rain is going to come to wash some stuff away.
Yes.
Sometimes you're going to have to climb some mountains to get through some things. Sometimes the river is going to be pushing you and, helping you navigate some things, and it's going to be hard. The ocean is cleansing. So we just have gifts in nature. So that's a big part of what I rely on. It's the blue moon today. I can't wait to sit and write my intentions under the blue moon.
I know, me too. I'm looking forward to
yes,
that too.
This is yummy. The blue moon is here today, and it's in Taurus, which is my, sign. So of course, I love that.
Yes. Tell us the hardest part. What was the hardest part about you making the decision, Kim? Like, was it the letter of recommendation? Was it the anticipation of making a pivot in your life? Because we're not 20-year-olds, honey.
No.
We ain't 20-year-olds that can go and be like, Mama, can you?
Yeah. And I don't have no hustle and grind in me. Let me be clear about you youngins who hustle and grind. I don't have that. I had to pick one or the other. I was not cut out to be successful at a corporate job and then come home and work on my business. That's just not my makeup. People have it. I admire people who can do it, but that's just not me.
Mm-hmm.
And so the hardest part was trusting myself, really, and trusting the God in me, because for a long time my belief was that God didn't see me and God didn't understand me and God had abandoned me. A lot of this stuff that we go through as we try to learn more about ourselves. And so it was really saying to myself, you can do this. Even in the fear, you can do this. And really was giving myself permission in a bigger way, right? Because it wasn't just about the permission to leave the job. It was the permission to live my authentic life and to maybe disappoint some people who thought that I was going to continue a journey that they were on, right? So it was leaving that to say, okay, this is for me, and when I choose this, it doesn't mean that I'm leaving anybody. I'm going to have more to give because I'm going to be in more joy. I'm not going to be sad all the time and crying. And, we talked about soul cry. This was a soul cry.
Honey, yes.
Yes.
And it's, it was your soul weeping. It was weeping.
It was weeping. Like I tell people all the time, I've been crying most of my adult life. Okay. People who are in my close circle know that about me. They're like, oh, look, Kim Shawn's crying again. Okay, what is she crying about now? And the truth about that is it was my soul was so sad because I was not living what I was called to do in the world. It just was so sad all the time. And I spent all my time trying to figure out, what is it? Spending what I say $1 million on self-development and
self-help books, coaches, honey, readings,
talking to my sisters, getting mentored. I was like, what am I doing? I don't know.
It's true. We reach outside of ourselves because we want the validation. We want the confirmation. We're hoping even that thing can just magically twitch the nose
Yes.
and just make it happen. But that's not the case. We have to make a choice. So I guess that's my next question for you. What do you, so you've talked about nature and spirit and weeping and crying and having a community of women. And these are all pieces.
Yes.
These are all the pieces
Yes.
that helps us pivot.
Mm-hmm.
These are even Lisa Mosley. She talked about having a sister circle that helped her pivot, that had her back. But there is a thing that we must do by ourselves, just us and the Creator. What was that thing that you and the Creator? Because we have a spirit that's an invisible force that's unseen, whatever you want to call it, our aura, the Most High, whatever. But it's still just one thing, that good thing. That good thing. What was the thing that you had to do
by myself
that allowed you to lean into it, baby?
Well, what did I have to do? I had to say yes. It's really simple. We make some things really complicated, and they're not that complicated. I simply said yes in a different way, though. I said yes before, but I said yes through ego before. Because before it was, well, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to be fabulous, and I'm going to do, and now it's saying yes to who I evolve, how I evolve. It's not just today I look like this, right? Just a few days ago I had braids in my hair. I could be in some lounging clothes after this. It's really saying yes to God. That makes me emotional.
Because that is a piece.
Yeah. It's saying yes to God, because the other thing that came up for me was, how dare I? Let me move in.
Move in. Let me move in with you.
How dare I not birth the gifts that God gave me, because they're not for me. We tell ourselves they are. We say, I gotta find my purpose. Your purpose, what you been called to do while you're here, because there's a doing and a being. You're called to be love. That's it. We're all just born to be love. Now, what you're called to do with that gift, the gifts that you're given, is about God's work. They don't have nothing to do with you, and you need to get out of the way. And it takes some of us longer to figure that out, but you need to get out of the way.
Out of the way.
Get out of the way.
What makes you clench your pearls?
You mean like,
what takes your breath away?
Ooh.
What?
What takes my breath away?
What takes you clench your pearls and it just takes your breath away?
It depends on the moment where I am, but a good piece of jewelry, honey, will take me out and make me clench my pearls. Honey, a fabulous feather necklace, honey, will make me clench my pearls.
I love it.
Honey, a fabulous lip will make me clench my pearls.
That's why, honey, this couldn't have been scripted.
No, not at all.
That's why you are the adorned spirit, right? That is why you are the creative stylist doula, because that's what takes your breath away.
Yeah, it is. And art. Like, I did a video like at the beginning of COVID that talked about what's your medicine during this time. Is it walking? Is it vitamins? Is it journaling? Is it art? Whatever your medicine is, right? And what I've discovered is my medicine is art. I get healing through art. That's how I heal through spirit. And then my art's going to be medicine for the world.
That's beautiful, Kim. Yeah, tell our audience where they can find the stylist, the styling doula, because you're styling women from the inside first.
Yes.
There's a pivot that has to happen internally. Yeah. And then you dress it up, because what we do, especially as Black women, we show up to the nines, yes, but be toe up inside. Yes. Toe up. So you're starting inward, yes, and you're working out.
I am. And that's why styling doula was like, that's it. because we're going to do inside work. It's coaching. We're going to talk about who you're becoming, who you've always been, because we entitled this Coming Out of the Shadows.
Yes.
And we are coming out of the shadows into the light. You cannot hide anymore. COVID is like, come on here. Come on. Come out.
Come out. Wherever you are.
You are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In the shadows. Come out. That's why I call the show because we're already extraordinary.
Yes.
And now it's time to be extraordinary. To come out of the shadow. That it's relevant. And it goes hand in hand. So tell our audience where they can find you.
So my website's being developed, but until then, you can always reach me on my business page, The Adorned Spirit on Facebook, and at The Adorned Spirit on Instagram.
The Adorned Spirit on Facebook and The Adorned Spirit on Instagram.
Yes.
If you want to book a consultation with Kim Shawn, you can inbox her or DM her at those platforms and social media outlets.
Yes.
Kim Shawn, what's your favorite color?
Ooh, honey, my favorite color is purple.
Why purple?
On purple.
Okay.
I
love it.
Oh, my favorite color is purple. I've just always loved it. I love purple, turquoise, and gold are my colors.
I love it.
I love them because they just make me happy. It just simple things make me happy. The sun coming out, happy. Kissing my mama, happy. Loving on somebody, happy.
I love it.
Yes.
So Kim, before we let you go, I want to shout some people out in the chat.
Oh, well, come on through.
Yes.
Come on through.
Lisa Mosley, and they're talking on here.
What they saying?
Honey,
What they saying?
Lisa says one of her first pieces was Black is Black by Larry Poncho Brown. Larry says Poncho says purple rules.
Yes.
Purple indeed rules. We got to shout out Maya.
Ooh.
Honey, she's in the house. Zanetta is in the house from Philly.
Let me see.
Honey, we have Audrey and these are only the ones who have said hello.
Okay.
Does anyone have a question for Kim Shawn? We have time for one question. And if anyone wants to give a question, please come forward. But we're shooting out everybody that is here. Kim Shawn, what is your last? Lisa says, we love Kim Shawn. She is absolutely fabulous. Yes.
I love
awesome. You back. What do you want to end with, Kim? What do you want to, what kind of gem would you like to drop in closing?
Well, I was looking for it while you were talking, so this is perfect. I found this yesterday, I think. So let me come in and read this.
Go ahead, baby. Go in. Yes.
My growth came when I realized that I do not have to experience life the way I have been told to.
Can you repeat that?
Yes. My growth came when I realized that I do not have to experience life the way I have been told to. So what have you been told to do that you want to leave in the shadows?
That's a
leave in the shadows.
Yes. Lisa says, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh.
Step into the light, baby. Because the light is a fabulous place to be.
It is. Larry Poncho Brown has a question for you.
Absolutely.
He would like to know, define what creativity means to you.
Ooh.
What does creativity mean to you, Kim?
Creativity really is exposing all the parts of me that are colorful, that are beautiful, that I was born with, that are through my vision, through Spirit's vision. And there are plenty of creatives in the world, and we all have a different way of putting it in the physical world, which is beautiful. We all come from the same source, but the way we express is different.
That's right.
And that's a gift.
That's right. Kim, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for being a guest. the jewels you dropped. Again, you can find Kim Shawn at the Adorned Spirit on IG, Instagram, and the Adorned Spirit on Facebook. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you so much, my sister. I love you too.
I love you,
Pieces. Mwah.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, every week we give a health tip. And we not only talk about the problems, but we also talk about the solutions that we need to render to go through. This week's health tip is to get some sun. If there's sun shining, get in it. Get a chair, get a yoga mat, lay on the bed, get some sun. Right now, COVID, we're shut in. We need to have sun. Sun feeds us mentally, spiritually, and physically, and it stimulates us beyond what we can know, beyond the surface of our skin, but into our very organs, into our soul. This is Power in My Pivot. It is a live broadcast that happens every single Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, and 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week, we will have another fabulous guest, Reverend Judy Ann. Honey, it's going down. Kim just cracked open the doors. We just gonna keep kicking open doors if they ain't opening for us and knocking down windows just to get through, because this show was titled Coming Out of the Shadows. So let's pivot from basic to bona fide, because there is power in your pivot. Until next week, I'll see you soon. I'm Corinthia Peoples.